with another video. If you are new here, welcome. If not, welcome back, y'all. So welcome back, everyone. It is day 21 of Vlogtober. Ooh. Yes, y'all made it. Congratulations, and congratulations to me for, man, telling y'all all these stories. But just thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all are like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Definitely subscribing. Get your girl to 2K. I would so appreciate it. Thank y'all so much in advance. As you can tell by the title, I am going to be telling you guys the story about how I met my child's father. I know I've been telling you guys how I wanted to do a series on, you know, my child's father, and it's just kind of like all over the place. So I guess I'm going to try to get some order to it. So the first video should be about how we met, right? Yeah. So my child's father, of course, I gave him the name Matt. Matt and I met when I began working at Outback Steakhouse. Yes. All right. Just so y'all know, yes, that restaurant cook and server love, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the cliche. But nah, y'all. So I had graduated college back in 2017, back in May. And after college, I had started working at like this chiropractic office, and I was doing that like for a long while, all the way up until I started working at Outback. So I was doing that. I was getting my grown women on, you know. Of course, I had moved back in with my mom because I was done with college and just trying to figure out my next steps. I had lost all this weight, y'all. I was weighing like 200 pounds, and I had got all the way down to like 160. So I, you know, got back. And 160, y'all, if y'all ever see 160 on me again, I might post a picture of me when I had lost all the weight. But I was very fit, muscular, like I could not wait to get back down to that. But yeah, like I was just, you know, starting a new chapter in my life. All right. And I was just so excited. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to be this entrepreneur, business owner, like all that good stuff. I just knew it in my heart. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do and where to begin, if I'm being honest. So I started working as a receptionist at this chiropractic office, and I loved it. The only thing I didn't like about it was, one, the hours were trash, and two, it was very far. Like I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. every single morning just to get to work. Like it was just ridiculous. I didn't like it. So I did eventually end up quitting that job because I was tired of, you know, just driving back and forth and spending my whole day out there. Just because I remember the shifts were like 7:15 to 10 a.m. and then they would close the office and it wouldn't reopen until 3 to like 8 o'clock. It was weird. So it was like I was out there all day because there's no way I'm driving all the way back home, which was like on the other side of town, and then driving all the way back to work in the middle of rush hour. It just like was not going to happen. So I would be spending my days out there a lot, and it was just like I said, the hours were trash. But I just felt like I just needed, you know, better things on my resume to get me to that next level. However, I was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. I had just got done losing all this weight, so I felt great. Plus, you know, the chiropractic office was also helping me. Like they were giving me adjustments and they were measuring me like, look how good you're doing. Hey, instead of doing this protein powder, do the plant-based. Like they really helped me, like I swear. I need to go back there again for real. So now I'm just like, okay, I love y'all, but I can no longer work here. Like I can't do it. So I stopped working there in October, and I remember I was just having my fun, y'all. It was homecoming. I went back to my college for homecoming. I had a ball, y'all. That was probably like the funnest homecoming I ever went to as an alumni. Like who knew homecoming was funner as an alumni? Oh my gosh. So I had a ball. Also at that time, my, you know, sister was going there, my cousin, you know, Lexi, my cousin, like everybody was going to that college. So it was just super lit when I went there. So did all that. And then, of course, I had my best friend at the time. He was no longer my best friend. What did I name her, y'all? I wonder if I gave her an actual name. I don't know. But I need to give her an actual name because there's a lot of story times about her coming up as well. But my best friend at the time, we was going out all the time, like every night. So especially Tuesdays, we was going out. On the weekends, we was going out. Whenever I wasn't with her, I would be up at the college with my sister, and I'm like, I was having so much fun, y'all. Eventually, I'm like, okay, it's the holidays, like it's nearing the end of November. I'm like, okay, I need to start working again. Like I took a whole month and a half off to party and do what I wanted to do, but now it's time for me to start working again. So now I'm just kind of looking for anything, and I wanted to try different things. So I'm like, well, I want to try being a waitress because I'm just like, whatever, I'll try whatever. So I'm like, oh, I want to try being a waitress. So y'all, I remember leaving the house one day. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'm about to go out here and get me a job. And when I come back, I will have a job. Mark my words. And she was just like, okay. So I remember I left. I had went around everywhere. I remember I had went to like Olive Garden, Red Lobster, and a couple other places. And I was like, oh, let me try Outback because all these other places, I'm not really, I don't know. I wasn't like feeling the vibe when I was in there. So I was in Outback, and literally I went in. They was like, oh, fill out this application. And then they told me to come back the next day. And that was just like, yo, that's crazy how I just walked up in here and got this job. You can't do that these days. They'd be like, apply online and maybe we'll look you up. Like, so annoying. But then you was able just to walk in there and get you a job. I wish it was still like that, but it just ain't. So anyway, I walked in there. I got my job. They're like, you have waitressing experience. Of course, my resume, I put that I had worked at Denny's because remember y'all, I was working at Denny's and Popeyes throughout my college, breaks and my college breaks. And yeah, of course, at Denny's, I technically was not a waitress. I was a hostess, but we did have to take to-go orders. So I knew how to waitress. So of course, I'm finessing it like, yeah, I was a waitress at Denny's for 4 years and this is a night. And yeah, so they're like, cool, you're hired. I'm like, bet. So I started to become a waitress at Outback Steakhouse. And I remember getting there, they had me training for like 3 days before they put me out on the floor. And then you got to take like this big ass test, which is crazy because they like give you like a study guide. But the study guide you have to fill out. You have to like look up all the answers and fill it out. But they give you like the menu. And you have to like answer the questions like that. It's crazy. Anyway, y'all, when I came in to take that test, I had my study guide and I had slid my study guide underneath the actual test. And I would just be like copying the answers. Literally just copying the answers. And every time my manager would come around and check on me, I would slide it back under and be like, yep, I'm almost done. Thank you. And then it was so funny because some of the servers would come over to me and be like, that's this answer. And I'd be like, oh, thank you. The test was long as fuck. It was like 4 pages long. And you had to know like all the drinks and all. It was crazy. Y'all, why did I still fail that test by 2 points? 2 points though, are you freaking kidding me? But they didn't make me retake it. I think they just forgot because they kept telling me I had to retake it, but then never actually made me. But anyway, I became a server. And yeah, so I remember like my first day there and I was nervous as hell. I'm like, okay, I'm about to do this. I remember we had to wear all black, non-slip shoes. I remember I had my hair in my little Jada Pinkett braids. And I had always wore like this red lipstick, y'all. I don't know why. It was either red or it was like dark brown. I don't know why, but that was just like my little thing I did. And yeah, so I remember the first day I got there, I'm in the back and I'm just like standing up against the wall where like the computers or stuff are where people clock in or whatever. Cause I'm waiting for the person who is training me to come in. So I'm just standing up there, just waiting patiently. And when I do that, I notice like it's the next shift coming in because I'm training on the night shift. So I noticed the night shift crew of cooks start coming into the kitchen. So there's like, however many come in. And then I just remember this real tall, skinny dude walking past me. And around the corner, there's like, you can hang your coat and your book bag and stuff. So he walks around the corner, he's hanging his coat, hanging his book bag. He's talking to other guys in the kitchen like, yeah, bro, ha, 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 ha. And when he looks at me, he just stops and he just starts staring at me. No, I'm just looking because at the time, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm a cute girl. I had a confidence about myself because, listen, I just had lost all that weight. You know, I had lost 45 pounds, y'all. You know, I had my Jada Pinkett braids, had my lipstick on at the time. Like, I would wear my glasses. If I can find a picture, I'm gonna show y'all. But I would wear my glasses and like I was just ready to work. Like I had this ambition about me. But he was just staring at me. And I'm not gonna lie, it started making me feel uncomfortable a little bit. But he was just like, whoa. Like, wow. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like, hi. And he was just like, hi, like, are you new? What's your name? And I'm just like, oh, I'm Drea. And he's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm Matt. You know, I'm the cook. One of the cooks here. I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, I'm Dre. You know, I just started here. I'm about to be a server. I'm training today. And of course, our conversation didn't last long because the manager started coming back like, all right, y'all, come on, get on the line, get on the line. Everybody get clocked in, this and that. He was just like, oh, okay, okay. So he goes to the back or whatever. And that was that. So now we're just like, I'm just going through my training day. Mind you, I'm nervous because obviously I lied about ever being a server before. And Outback is, of course, way different from Denny's. And you got to carry those big ass trays. Y'all, I was nervous as fuck. I was so nervous. Like, ugh. But after a while, you get used to it. Like, it's not that bad. It really ain't that bad. But yeah, so I'm just going through the day. And mind you, I think my first day I only had to work like 3 hours because like I said, I was shadowing somebody, so I didn't have to stay for like the count out and whatnot, even though I eventually did because you have to learn how to do that, which let me tell y'all, I never learned. I had somebody do my shit every time and just threw them a couple dollars, but whatever. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm in here, I'm learning, like I'm excited, I'm meeting all these new people and it's cool. Like everybody is pretty friendly, like all the girls and you know, all the waiters, everybody's friendly. The cooks, they're all friendly and funny as hell. I got along with them really good, especially, you know how it is when, you know, you're pretty. They be all trying to flirt with you and, oh, what you need, baby girl? Like all that type shit, you know. If you ever worked in the kitchen, you know what I'm talking about. So, of course, Matt is just staring at me every time I come back there and just smiling at me like, okay, Matt, like I get it. I get it. I'm fresh meat. Swear. So now it's nearing towards the end of the day and I'm about to leave and he noticed like I'm clocking out and stuff and I'm going back to get my bag and my coat and whatnot. And he comes back there like, yeah, can I get your number? And, you know, can we text you? Mind if I, you know, call you or whatever? And, you know, I'm looking at him and I'm not gonna lie, like, I was just like, like looking at him like, he's not really cute. Like, okay, like, I guess. He all right, he seemed cool, you know, my coworker, I don't know, but fine, you know, it's all good. So I give him my number, we exchange numbers, and yeah. So I remember I went home, and he's texting me, and I remember he calls me. He did. He calls me, and we talked for however long we talked. I don't think it was that long. And yeah, he just seemed real cool. So of course, excuse me, that's the end of that night. And we go on, you know, I would see him like, hey, how you doing? A lot of the times he actually worked the day shift. So, and I would work the night shift. So I wouldn't see him all like that. Or sometimes I would work the day shift and he would work the night shift. So it's just like, we was never really on the same shift all like that. So I wasn't really seeing him. Not only that, but it wasn't that busy yet. So I wasn't on the schedule all like that. Like at this point, I think I was only working like 2 days a week. Swear. So as like December came, I started working more and more. And I actually had like tables and stuff now. So now I'm working like 4 days a week. And I'm seeing him more now. But I'm not like, it's like I'm paying attention to him. But I'm also, you know, I'm friends with some of the other cooks now. You know what I'm saying? I've actually hung out with some of the other cooks. We done smoked together, like all that type shit. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not only that, but me and Matt, we haven't really been texting all like that either. And I remember it was so crazy because I remember working Christmas Eve. We had worked Christmas Eve, and he was like, oh, yeah, you don't be hitting me up. And I'd be like, yeah, I can say the same for you. Like, you don't be hitting me up either. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, true, true, true. So when we went home that night, he started texting me. And I remember it was Christmas Eve because every Christmas Eve we be at my mom's house and we're making gingerbread houses and we all wear matching pajamas and we listen to Christmas music and we bake a million cookies and it's just a vibe. Like, I love Christmas. So he's texting me and I'm taking pictures of our gingerbread house contest. Like, literally, we do it every year, y'all. So I'm taking pictures. I'm like, yes, this is my gingerbread house this year. And yeah, it's like real cool. So he's like, well, yeah, like, when is me and you gonna hang out? And we're just talking, whatever. So we're talking all through Christmas Eve, all through Christmas. And eventually we hung out like sometime in between Christmas and New Year's. He told me to come meet him at the studio space, because he was like, editing like music videos and stuff. So he was like, oh yeah, come to the studio. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Like, I'll come through. So I remember, and it wasn't far either. Like, I looked up the address and I'm like, wow, you know, you're only 7 minutes away from me. He was just like, oh my goodness, yeah, like, now you definitely got to come through. I'm like, okay. And y'all, don't get me wrong, like, I was kind of nervous because we had never chilled before. And it's so crazy because right before we went to go chill, you know, like I told you, I didn't find him like attractive. Like, he wasn't ugly or nothing, but I didn't look at him at first glance and was just like, whoa, like he was with me. You know what I mean? So I remember one day after work, it's cold. It's November, it's December. You know what I'm saying? It's cold, it's snowing, it's freezing. It's Pittsburgh. So I remember I'm outside, and at this time, this one I had my old car. And I was having so many issues with it, y'all. Like, the transmission ended up going and everything. But sometimes my car wouldn't always start up and I would always need a jump, like, all the freaking time. So I remember I finally had got my car to start up, but the heat was not working. And when I tell you I did not have heat the entire winter, I was thugging it out. Now, if I had my daughter, there was no way I could go like that. But it was just me at the time. So I was just thugging it out in the wintertime. Cold as fuck. Just cold. So the one day I had like a super, almost pretty much flat tire. And I remember him coming outside after me like, you good? You good? I'm like, yep, I'm about to go home. He's like, all right, I'm gonna text you. And I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up, like, I see that I have this flat tire, but of course I don't want nobody else to know that, because first of all, I'm still new here and I don't know. I don't want to be talked about or nothing. Like, I don't want nobody to know, like, I low-key got a hoopty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, all right, listen, the gas station is literally right down the street. Girl, you can make it to Sheetz. Like, I knew you can make it to Sheetz. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. So literally, I'm driving so slow, but I'm trying to low-key drive fast to get the Sheetz, put some air in my tire. But at the same time, I want to drive too fast and mess up my rim. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, by the grace of God, I got the Sheetz, okay? I got to the gas station and I put air in my tire. But right after I put air in my tire and then I went to go get gas. I went to go get gas and, of course, you know, I turned my car off. I fill up my gas tank. But then, like, my car wouldn't turn back on. I'm just like, yo, it's too cold out here. Like, what the hell is happening? Y'all, my car would not turn back on. I was so mad. So, of course, I'm like, I think I just need a jump. So, at this point, Matt is texting me like, hey, I'm leaving work, like, what you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm actually at Sheetz. Do you mind giving me a jump, actually? So he's like, yeah, I'm on my way. So I'm like, cool. So he tries giving me a jump, y'all. It's not working. Like, it's just not working. So he's like, get in my car. It's too cold out here. Like, we could just sit over here until your mom come. Because I end up calling my mom, like, Mom, what should I do? Or whatever. And, you know, she's like, call AAA. So, of course, I'm sitting in his car and we're just talking, and I guess you could say getting to know each other, because at this point we hadn't really talked all like that. Like, we had just text here and there, but we had yet to chill or anything. So we had was, you know, just talking and text here and there, and we was waiting for my mom to pull up. And my, you know, my mom, she had like a big truck, Suburban, so you know whatever power's coming out of that is starting my car right up. And it did. It sure did. And so of course, you know, my mom ends up meeting Matt, like, hey, you know, how you doing? I'm telling her, oh, like, yeah, this is Matt. I work with him. He was nice enough to try to give me a jump and allowed me to sit in his car while I waited for you to get here. And, you know, she's like, oh, thank you. This is not cool. So now I told him, yeah, I'm going to hit you when I get home. Cool. So that's what I did. I went home and we're texting and all that. And that's when we started texting more, you know, through Christmas, and decided to finally hang out. So he was like, yeah, come through to the studio. And I'm just like, okay, like I'll come through to the studio. So I go up there, and it's a cool little setup. Like the way the studio was, at first I'm like, this is the studio? Because when you pull up, it's like a, what do you call it? Like a car garage, kind of, because there's cars all outside. But in the garage, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard for real. I ain't gonna hold you. But in the garage, there's the garage, and then there's a room in the garage with like a TV and a couch and like a nice little setup. And then further back, there's another room where he has like a computer set up, and he was editing stuff in there. I'm like, oh, this is like a nice little setup. He was like, yeah, I do, you know, we chill in here. I do my editing stuff back here. And then my boy, he you know, the little car lot, and, you know, he fixed cars and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that's what's up. You know, that's cool. So we're in the living room area, and we're chilling. We actually take a couple shots, and we're just talking. And then he goes over and he shows me his editing area, and he shows me how he edits the music videos, and he showed me his camera and how he films the music videos. So it's like real hard for him. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It was my child's father who kind of like made me want to do YouTube. Like I've always wanted to do YouTube, but once I seen like his setup and how he edits, like my whole mindset of what I wanted to do in life just completely changed. It was crazy, y'all. It completely changed. I said, yo, this is so hard. Like, I'm so loving this. And then he was playing music. At the time, it was, oh my goodness, I love Kodak Black. And at the time, our song was Rolling Peas. You know, the Rolling Peas. Everybody notice me. And I'm rolling on a bean. That was our jam, y'all. But that's what, you know, that was the music that was out during that time when we had first met. Back in 2017, y'all. But yeah, so it was just like, wow. Okay, like he's cool. Like, man, he's pretty cool dude. So, and then he has a nice smile, and he's very, he's such a character. Very funny, very like, hey, you know, like all that, you know, life of the party type of dude. So yeah, he's like that. And, you know, I'm just like, okay, like he's real cool. He makes me laugh like this. So after we're chilling on the couch and we're drinking something, he's like, hey, you want to go up the street to the one bar? And I'm just like, sure, like, let's go. So I remember I was riding up the street, and then before we left, he was like, you want to smoke? So of course we smoked in a car driving up there, which y'all, I don't know why I did this, because I already tell y'all all my story times. Every time I smoke, I get a little weird. I get a little funny. I get a little boring. But I be trying to hide it. I do. I be trying to hide it. But it'd be like, where am I? What's happening? I feel like I'm in outer space. Like, y'all, there's something really wrong with me. But yeah, so I smoke. But I'm still cool. I'm cool. And there's something about smoking and it being cold outside. Because it's just like that wind hit you and you cool. You know what I'm saying? So like I was cool. So we had went to the bar. And of course, as soon as I go in there, all I hear is, hey, yo, Annie. And I'm looking like, who was calling me Annie? Because the only people who call me Annie, which if y'all don't know by now, because sometimes I do reference myself as Annie. If y'all don't know by now, Annie is my nickname. My nickname, my family and close friends only call me Annie. So when I heard, hey, yo, Annie, I'm looking around for a family member. And of course, it's my big cousin. And I'm just like, hey, like, what's up? What's up? So now I'm just starting to feel more comfortable and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like, okay. Because at this point, I had just graduated college, and I had never really been to all the local bars around where we lived at. But it was like really popping. Like, I ain't gonna hold y'all. We went in there and there was strippers in there and everything. I'm like, where we at? You would thought we were down in the hood, but we wasn't. There was strippers in there and everything. And I'm like, okay, it's lit in here, it's lit in here. So yeah, like Matt was like, oh, you want a drink? And I'm just like, yeah, I'll take a drink. So now we in there drinking, and we're just in there vibing. I'm having fun. Like I said, I'm comfortable. My cousin's in here, like, yeah, I'm feeling lit. So then we end up leaving and going back to the studio. So now we're in the studio and we are drunk. I ain't gonna hold you. We're drunk at this point, y'all. Drunk at this point, and we're just chilling, watching movies. And at this point, we're like kissing and stuff. And just, I ain't gonna hold y'all. One thing leads to another, and we end up sleeping together. I don't even know how it happened, y'all. It all happened so fast, but it's so crazy because it just felt so just like natural. I didn't feel weird, and that was probably the alcohol. I ain't gonna hold you, but I didn't feel weird. I felt comfortable. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was so weird. And I ended up sleeping over there too, like, and I'm just like, okay, like, I'm just sleeping at the studio. How many girls you do this with? But you know, I try to think like that because, you know, first night, she gonna let me F because we grown. Like, that's what type shit we was on, y'all. Because remember, that's the first time we was chilling and we ended up doing that. But whatever. So I ended up staying the night there. And when I woke up, I was just like, oh shit, like, I be still being at the studio. So he wakes up and he's like, dang, yeah, all right, you good? Like, we had fun last night. And I'm just like, yeah, I had a good time. He's like, yeah, the correct thing is I got work this morning. I got to do the morning shift. Because mind you, we both got Outback. He said he got to work the morning shift. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. But you know, our shift started at like 10 and it was like 8. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, let me dip. And he's like, yeah. So I remember it was snowing. So he had went out. It had ended up snowing that night. So he had went out and like started up both of our cars and like shoveled a walkway for his car because his tires was trash, y'all. He needed tires. But oh my God. Oh, sorry, I just thought about something, but that's for a whole nother story time. It's cool. But anyway, y'all, it was just like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, what did I just do? Like, did I really just sleep with him? But I'm like, I'm not about to put too much thought into it. Like, he a cool dude. So after we're both about to leave out because our cars was heated up, he goes to give me a kiss, y'all. Meanwhile, I gotta like this because he's super tall. My child's father is 6'5", y'all. I'm 5'4". So yeah, he's very tall. So I'm just like, okay, I goes to give him a kiss, y'all, and I immediately don't like him all over again. I don't like him all over again because as soon as I go up, I get a big whiff of his fucking breath. And it smelled like fucking death. It was so disgusting. And I tried so hard not to be like, ugh. I was just like, Like, I kissed him, but I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it smelled that bad. I'm like, all right, see you later. And I'm in the car, like, trying to wipe my mouth. And it's so crazy because I'm doing this and I can still smell it all on top of my upper lip. Y'all, it was so fucking disgusting. I was so just like, oh my God, why did his breath stink that bad? Now, mind you, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because morning breath is a thing. You know what I'm saying? And neither of us have brushed our teeth. But I'm like doing this. My breath did not smell nearly that bad. And we both drank and we both fucking smoked. So what the fuck is that? And y'all, we talked about this. I'm not just over here talking shit on my child's father. We talked about this. We laugh about this. Like, funny as hell. But like, nigga, what the fuck is on your breath? That was so disgusting. So I just was not liking him all over again. Like, I'm telling you, when he made my stomach feel so queasy. So queasy. Just disgusting. But, ugh. So I remember he ended up texting me like, hey, did you make it home okay? And I'm like, yep, I made it home, you know. He was like, yeah, we had a good time. Like, we got to link again. And in my head, I'm just like, we're not fucking linking again. Like, that shit was just, your breath is too trash. But obviously, we didn't end up linking again, guys. And with that being said, I'm going to cut the story right there. So that is a story about how me and my child's father first met, okay? First met, y'all. Stay tuned to the series because it's going to be good, okay? It's gonna be good. But for right now, just make sure y'all like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and turn your post notification bell on because you don't want to miss these videos. You don't want to miss these videos. All right, y'all? So I love y'all so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.